Hello, I'm Rob Davidson. Welcome to our series on cyber risk brought to you by Worldwide Facilities. Today our topic is risk management and loss control in the digital age, part 1. With me today is Jamila Palagonia with Privacy Professionals. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'd like to get right into it with the questions, and that is, why should businesses take cyber risk seriously?
Well, there's a big answer to that, and I'll say that, escalating cybercrime, evolving privacy threats, and all the breaches that you've seen in making the headlines is more than enough reason. But more importantly, cyber is a very sexy term that's used. The laws and the regulations are privacy and data security. And businesses have to take it seriously because they have to comply with the law. So if crime and escalating threats and the law isn't enough, I don't know what would be to get businesses ready to take cyber risk seriously. But I think the problem is that cyber is that word that turns people into, they think about cyberspace and it becomes a sexy term that people throw around. But the laws and the regulations are around privacy and data security. And it's something that all businesses have to take seriously if they want to survive.
And I think that's a good point you make, but I'm also interested in unauthorized access and people who, don't really deal with the issue of unauthorized access very effectively. Mm-hmm. How would you react to that kind of a situation from a loss control and risk management point of view?
Well, I think unauthorized access is just a subcategory of an intrusion into your network. And I believe that unauthorized access or authorized access by authorized people that are go into systems that they're not supposed to is also a risk for companies. But unauthorized access is just one point. A virus is an unauthorized access. A hacker is an unauthorized access. Anybody in your network or in your information data banks that isn't supposed to be there is unauthorized access.
What do you think is the most significant risk factor when looking at risk management and loss control issues for most businesses today?
I would say it's the people, and more people. Okay. Technology works. Technology is not the problem. Humans are behind the technology, and I think until you can get humans out of the equation, there's always going to be a risk because we're not machines. We think and we act independently. And organizations need to take the people risk seriously and their antiquated processes. So if your employees are not trained, if your executives don't take the risk seriously, if your customers don't believe that your employees are trained and the executives take risk seriously, then you're not going to be a viable business in next 4 or 5 years.
I've heard it said sometimes that it goes from the board to the keyboard, and all of the people in between to really make the, hopefully resolve any risk management and loss control issues. What do you find is the most important thing from an employee point of view to what they can do to minimize this risk?
Well, it doesn't go from the bottom up, it goes from the top down. And in fact, I usually say it's from the board to the keyboard to illustrate that. And basically, the executives, the board of directors, the executive leadership set the tone. It's not the employees. So giving the employees mandates from a high level and saying, you must do this or you must do that has proven not to be effective. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk. So executives that take it seriously, employees will be able to see that in their organizations. In many ways, they'll get training. They'll get awareness programs. Executives will also follow the same procedures. One of the biggest factors is if executives and board of directors say, yes, this is a great risk, we need to take it seriously, but they don't put in the actual processes and technologies that those employees need to protect data, then risk is not mitigated.
Absolutely, great point. Just to wrap up, what do you think are some of the most important protective remedies that businesses can use to reduce their exposure to cyber attacks and cyber breaches?
Well, I would say it's two factors. And I'm not a technologist, but I'm a privacy professional, and I say there are two major things that companies can do. One of them is institute strong password protection policies, because right now most businesses, 80% of employees use a 6-digit password, which can be cracked in a fraction of a minute. I would, if most businesses implemented strong password protection policies, 13 digits, combination of letters and numbers and symbols, it could take 300,000 years to crack. But when you have a 6-digit password that's your birthday or some dictionary name, any hacker very easily can get into your system in seconds.
That's a very practical solution, I would think. But
Yeah.
most businesses, I would think, probably overlook it.
Yeah.
So this is a very important point to bring out, and I thank you very much for mentioning that today. I'd like to thank my guest today, Jamila Palagonia, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to thank Worldwide Facilities for sponsoring the program today, and I'd like to thank our viewers for watching.